What's up, guys? Sean here with BlueRidgeSilverhound. Thank you guys for tuning in again. You guys know the drill. Pocket Change Market Report. I'm just going to start calling this the weekend edition because, my upload rates have been inconsistent lately. Just been really busy with stuff. So, kind of like our Sunday morning PCMR kind of wrap. All right. So, June 4th, 2023. We have, again, a really nice lineup of coins, considering that we're beyond the Memorial Day period, and you would think that this time of year things would slow down a little bit. It might be a little bit of slowdown, but in all reality, we're seeing some pretty strong, healthy sales from both the coins and paper money side of the hobby, and we're going to talk about it today. A lot of really nice stuff that you guys need to be on the lookout for. As always, everything that we talk about here today is raw. All right, we don't talk about graded coins in this video. The big reason why is a lot of these errors and varieties that are being found today out in the wild sell for themselves, and most collectors kind of prefer that. There's going to be a very small group of folks that will want to grade these, and that's fine. There's a time and place for that, but why go out and spend the extra money to grade something that deep down inside you're going to sell? All right, and that's kind of like one of the resellers' philosophies when it comes to doing what we do with these coins, because people do make a really good secondary living off of these. It's like a side hustle, and the money's good. If you know what you're looking for and you're targeting certain things and you're appealing to the market, you're going to do really well here. All right, so no graded coins. And of course, one of the other things I always stress is that we are going to be looking at photos that are original to the respective seller's listings. We don't juice them, doctor them up of any sort. You're going to get the best and the worst results from the photographic images that are provided by those sellers. So just to let you guys know, it's raw, it's original, and you guys can always audit my information. You could always go check out some of these sold listings, because they are tried and true. These are the realized sales from the last 24 to 48 hours. All right, so we have a nice little list to go through here. I want to thank you guys again for tuning in and for your following. You guys have been fantastic, and I'm glad to bring this again to your home every weekend. All right, let's go ahead and jump in and see what's sold. Starting out with a really nice one here, 1857 Flying Eagle cent. Very rarely do we get to talk about these coins because on their face, problem-free examples generally command quite a bit of money. Very popular, very short series. These existed realistically from 1857 to 1858. The 1856 is a proof issue only, as you guys know, so that's why I really didn't add that one to the mix of dates. But any reasonable looking coin is going to command quite a bit of money. Now, here's kind of the thing with these coins. If we had an introduction of some sort of mint error to the coin, does that help or hurt the value of such coins? That's a question that I get all the time. It really depends on the error. Like this one right here has what we call just a regular planchet flaw, right? It could be either a strike through, it could be a little bit of a detached lamination. There could be a few things that attribute to what we're seeing here, and it's on the wingtip, and it obscures part of United States of America, as you can see there. Unfortunately, these are the type of errors that are really low down on the totem pole. And when it comes to collectability, most folks see these type of low-end type errors as more of a detraction for such rare type pieces than they are helpful. Now, if the coin would say off-center struck, broad struck, double struck, a few other different major type of errors, those particular types of errors will enhance the value of such coins because they are true rarities. So in the case of this coin, which by the way, it looks like a pleasing like VF20, maybe 25. This one ended up selling for $55.94. I know coins in the low end VF range, these things can go as high as $100 if you needed to buy one problem free. But in this particular case, the market has responded in a way where this type of mid-air really didn't do a whole lot to make the value better for the coin. So I want you guys to keep that in mind as you're hunting through these coins. Sometimes finding an error of this type on a a decent key or semi-key date coin may not be equitable for you. The next one that we have here is one of my favorites. I've found a number of these all throughout the years, and it doesn't matter what condition they are always easy to sell. 1936 Lincoln Wheat Cents. There's 3 different major doubled dies to be on the lookout for. The FS101 that you see here today is one of those. Albeit not a really impressive looking coin from a grade standpoint. This one right here undoubtedly has everything that you need. Now, as these coins circulate and they get more beat up over time, they can be a little bit tough to diagnose what kind of variety you have. So in this particular case, the FS101 double die obverse, you can see the double tail of the 9 right here. You can see the overall stretching of all of the numbers in the date. Albeit this is not a very impressive looking coin from a grade standpoint. In the motto, "In God We Trust," here's the word God right here. You can see a little bit of notching here at the top of the G. You can see the doubled top curl of the R. All right, again, this is all obscured with some corrosion, a little bit of grease that's hardened over time. Again, not very impressive. However, the coin still managed to sell for $35.95, which is a tremendous amount of money for this. Used to be we could have picked these up, like 10 years ago for around $10 in this condition. So they've certainly gone up in value as more of a value proposition type of example. It's still relatively affordable, but these things have creeped up over the years. The next one that we have here is a rather major error, this time on 1999 P Jefferson nickel. The seller actually had a number of these that they had offered into the market here in the last 24 hours, and these were traditionally found in mint-sewn bags. So if you're still able to pick up mint-sewn bags of any denomination, primarily Lincolns, nickels, and dimes, and you're able to go through them, more than likely you're going to find some of these. Now, the kind of like the target date range to look for is 99 to 2001. For whatever reason, there seems to be a heightened amount of these type of off-center strikes or broad strikes. So we have an off-center strike here, not by much, about 10%, still quite attractive, very, very minty in condition. This one ended up selling for $18.88. Again, these are collected by date. So if someone's collecting these and they need this specific date, they'll pick it up. This one was a buy it now option. Pretty cool one here. Again, another possibility in your constitutional silver stack. Always look out for little neat mint errors and varieties. This is a 1964 D Washington quarter, 90%er. It's got a pretty substantial attached lamination on the reverse. I'm willing to bet that the seller helped along the little tab that you see there. And, again, don't detach these laminations or try not to pull and pry and do all that great stuff. Those can fall off unexpectedly, and, it's not going to do a whole lot to enhance the value if you did that. This one right here sold for $29.90. Again, the coin has quite a bit of circulation wear there. It's not a mid-state gem. And, again, pretty nice sale on this one. One of the more impressive pieces on today's show has to be this 1928, looks to be F. This is a $2 legal tender note. That's with the red seals on there. So it's got a nice butterfly fold, as you can see there on the right-hand side. So the sheet had a fold to it and then printed over and then subsequently cut while it was still folded in. And that's how you earn one of these neat looking anomalies on your paper money. And even to this day, on much newer notes, you could still find these. Maybe not to this level, but you could find little butterfly folds and things like that on even some of the newer notes of today. So on the reverse there, you could see that that fold, that butterfly fold again, stretched out on there. It didn't really affect the print of the reverse. Which is fine, but again, this is something that on notes that you don't see come out onto the market too much, they will be quite pricey. Like this one right here ended up selling for $400, whereas the same exact error on maybe a silver certificate might sell for about half that. So that's again kind of one of the big differentiators. If you find an error like this on a non-traditional type of note, then those are going to command a lot more of a market because they are a little bit more unique, and the collectors that pay into errors like this, they want the unique stuff, and they will reciprocate with a pretty hefty sale like this one. Pretty cool one, but again, this is more par for the course. I've seen quite a few of these. It's a 1984. Looks to be a Denver Kennedy half dollar. You could see a quite substantial amount of weakness on the eagle on the reverse there. So that's probably more due to a little bit of a clogged die issue with some grease and things like that, thereby obliterating. You can't even see the shield. There's actually a shield that's in front of the eagle as part of the design. That is obliterated due to the grease that was in the dies at this point. So this is something that you come across actually quite frequently, and not too many people know about them, or do they care, because the people that do hunt through or even touch half dollars these days, all they care about is looking for that silver. So this one right here, a pretty nice sale at $18.95. Again, it's worth more than a 90% silver half dollar. You could sell this and then go ahead and buy up a 90%er if you're so inclined, if adding to a silver stack is the main goal here. Not one of the better pictures on today's list, and quite frankly, the lack of quality probably hurt the sale of this one. It's a 1918 S Buffalo nickel. The overall out of focus and granular appearance to the coin leads me to believe that maybe the coin was dipped in acid. Now, that remains to be seen. It might be problem-free, but 1918 S is a quite tough date, and this one has a full horn. I could see that pretty clearly. So the coin, at the very minimum, is like a high-end VF condition coin because of that. But this one right here is a well-collected variety called the two feather. So the third feather that's normally on these was over braided or over polished at one point. And those are found on a number of dates, and they're all recognized in the Cherry Picker's Guide, which makes these all quite relevant to collectors. So with all things considering, the bad photos, the granular appearance of the coin, leading to what could possibly be an acid dip coin, maybe the date wasn't very good on this one, it needed to be acid restored. This one only sold for $13.45 with 9 bids, right? So this was bid up organically and didn't muster a lot of money at all. And two feather varieties in higher graded examples and tougher dates generally command stupid money. So I hope this one's problem free to the new owner of this coin. I hope you got yourself a steal, because this would be one. And here's one that I love talking about too. One of the coolest finds from last year on the 2022 Jefferson nickel. We have some of these Field restricted strike throughs on the nickels. These are affectionately referred to by nickname as Smoking Tom, because you have that strike through anomaly coming out of his mouth. It's just the most convenient of spots. But this one also has a pretty nice size strike through right above the eye. So, we also have a Scarface type of appearance on this one. There's a few different nicknames I've seen on these, and they're all quite neat. But this one is a really nice high-end example. Lots of mint luster, looks to be mint state. This one sold for $27.53 with 2 bids. So again, these are still performing quite strongly today, 1 year later after discovery. Here's our next piece of paper, this time on 1969B, $1 bill. It looks to be that this one has a little bit of a misaligned base print on the front. The actual overprint is perfectly centered for the piece of paper. When we look at the reverse of the note, you can see that it's off center as well. So the sheet was just shifted over before the overprint was applied. So, the back print and then the base front print, which is the print number 2, are all wildly misaligned. So, pretty cool one here. I like finding things like these. And they pop up when you least expect it. This one sold for $34.79 with 5 bids. And that's okay. That's kind of like the going rate of money for these type of errors. Here's another one right here. This time on a much older 1950A $5 bill. Always love coming across these, although this one looks to be in exceptional condition. Probably crisp uncirculated. But what we have here on this one, the front looks to be perfectly fine. Note the serial number ends in 7002. Because when we flip it over, ladies and gentlemen, check that out. We have what we call a front to back wet ink transfer. So the third print or overprint of the note is on the reverse. All right, but in this case, the serial number ends in 7003. How this happens is there's some residual ink from possibly the impression cylinder and the printing plates making contact while they were still wet. Leaving that kind of like overprint impression on the impression cylinder. I know, okay, kind of weird way of saying it or describing it, but this is kind of like a paper money equivalent to a die clash is how it happens. And everything will be mirrored. It'll be backwards. So if you find one of these and they're reading normally where you can read it left to right, those are not legit. All right, and there are people that have tried to fake this error, all right, and it doesn't turn out well. So this one right here, again, another big-time error that sold for $365, and then the condition, again, is really good on this one. Just a little bit of a curved clip here on this 1965 Washington quarter. Very nice coin, high-end grade, mint state, probably more of a choice coin. This one sold for $15.50 with 2 bids. And the coin has so far been the commanding lead vote getter for the biggest error or variety in 2023. Has to be the Extra V Lincoln Shield sets. These are a great find right now, and they're going to net you quite a bit of money. These things have been selling like hotcakes. They've been selling for all over the place. They sell as low as $100, $125. They go all the way up to into the 200s. Again, there's still quite a bit of volatility here with this coin. Kind of hard to say where they'll settle at. It'll probably be a few months before we know that. But these are attributed by grading companies now, which is a big deal. Mike Diamond had done a piece in Coin World about this coin that kind of like woke it up to the point where they're getting pretty pricey to just own one. But there you go. There's that Extra V anomaly after the designer initials at the base of the bust. So again, it's speculated that this could be a working hub damaged event. Some have even said that it was intentional. And there is even a rumor that these are being found on Denver minted coins. So until further notice, we're just going to assume that right now that's a rumor and not actually the case. And it would be interesting to know more about them once people have been trying to, I guess, find them, or actively pursue them. So where did this one end up at? $139.75 with 19 bids was the final sale on this one. Again, right in the wheelhouse of what these have been selling for. And the time to find these is now, because they're going to be in the highest state of preservation. If you wait on these, you're just going to find some pretty well circulated examples. More currency and more big ones here. We have this 1969 $5 bill with a grossly misaligned overprint. So you can see the serial numbers and the district seals all shifted upwards. Good job by the seller using these red arrows to help guide the buyer's eyes as far as what's going on here. Back of the note, you can see pretty well circulated, not a gem by any means. This one right here sold for $218.88. So again, another strong showing in the marketplace. Here's another nice off-center struck coin. I believe this was sold by the same seller as that 99 we saw earlier. This time it's on a 1989. This is a 89 Philadelphia Jefferson nickel. This one right here sold for $42.38. It's off-center by about 20%. Very nice. Full readable date. Again, this is a non-typical date that you see being sold these days, and therefore it sells for a much higher amount of market than some of the other more common dates. And we talked quite a bit earlier in the week about woody wood grain coins, most specifically Lincoln cents. Now, this is not the prettiest example, but it does highlight something to be on the lookout for. So this is as a result of what we call an improper alloy mix. The composition during its time was predominantly copper, and then they added a little bit of tin. We're talking like maybe 2% tin. It's not a whole lot. So when that tin doesn't mix well with the copper, you get finished products that look like this. So you have a really substantial looking wood grain appearance on the offers, and that's really what cooks. And people are collecting these by date today as kind of like a secondary way of collecting into the series to make it a little bit more affordable. Now, as a note, this coin has a myriad of problems. There's a pretty big gash on the rim there on the front of the coin, and then on, the coin is beat up, for a lack of a better word on this one. But anyways, $12.88 is better than a sharp stick in the eye. If you don't care about these have a market, and this is a little bit tougher date too. So if you got one of those, might be high time to move on from them, as there are collectors out in the market scooping these up. Again, I can't believe that this one has circulated. 1988P Washington quarter. It's off center by about maybe 10-12%. You can see just a general circulation wear, and it's got gunk on the reverse and all that stuff. This one right here sold for $35. Again, there's always going to be a butt for every seat, and there are collectors for this particular segment of errors, and it's very robust and actually a nice size group too. Well, we got another extra V on a really nice, phenomenal graded example. It's not graded, but it's a high grade example nonetheless. Probably like a Gem BU type example here. You can see not the greatest of photos, but still you're able to see that little V, that extra V anomaly. They're called extra V, and that's what NGC, the grading company, uses on their labels. Yeah, once you're able to get these graded as that, it's all over. It's going to ratchet up the demand and the desirability for these, tenfold, and it did. This one right here ended up selling for $142.25 with 3 bids. So again, very nice, strong showing for this coin. Always good to see these. I lament every time I see these that they're graded, and because of that, they end up going for moon money. But finding one that's raw, ungraded, that's a welcome surprise. So we don't know what the date is here. It's an off-center struck Indian head scent. Looks to be about 35%. It's quite large. And very beautiful looking coin. It's got original patina. Might have a few issues with staining and corrosion, but that's okay. $189 was the final sale price on this one. All right, so here's our other feature, 2022. This one all of a sudden just popped up. And, I probably talked about this coin once before, and it's worth a second look because we know these exist, just not in very high numbers, which leads me to believe that a Mint employee caught this early and had switched out the reverse die on them. But these have like a squiggly string looking, looks to be strike through, but it's not a strike through because it's raised off the coin. When you look at the secondary picture here, you can see that. So when it's raised off the coin, that indicates die damage, which could be like a die gouge or a die dent on the working die. So when it strikes up coins, they're going to be raised off of there. So again, these are very popular. I mean, we all know about the Speared Buffalo in 2005, which is a die dent. I would probably say that this one's probably a die dent as well because of its size, even though it's more of a squiggly kind of line and not straight. Look out for these. Again, we're 1 year removed from a 2022 date of anything, so these are still going to be quite fresh out there in circulation. For example, this one sold for $20.50 with 19 bids, but they come up so infrequently that it's kept prices relatively low. If more people are looking for these, and if the error community will begin to adopt something like this as something a little bit more major than it actually is, it might actually broaden the overall general interest of such coins. But it all starts with finding one or the first two or three, and then that's where kind of like the wildfire begins to spark up. So yeah, look out for these. There was a lot of bidding activity on this one, 19 to be exact. So there were a lot of people interested. They just weren't willing to invest a ton of money into it while not knowing a whole lot about them. We didn't have much in the way of lots, but we did have this 5-coin lot of Zinkins. I believe these are all Zinkins. The coins all look to be copper-coated zinc-like coins. All majorly off-center struck, but they don't have a readable dates. So is this a buy to flip, or should you avoid this one? Well, based off of the price, this lot sold for $51.79 with 20 bids, making it about just over $10 per piece cost. That's quite high for Zinkin off-center strikes with no dates. So again, you might probably want to pass on this. I probably wouldn't have bought it for even $40. I've seen similar lots sell for around 30 to 35. So always keep that in mind. But if you're looking for something like this just as to add to a collection, then this is perfect. All right. So sometimes it's not all about the flip and making money, but the PCMR is guided toward how much you could sell these for and opportunities to make money. All right, and that's why we talk about these. Yeah, not a coin that you typically come across, and very rarely will you find this in circulation. Most people, write these off as damaged. But it's a undated Lincoln set. It's broad struck, first of all, and second of all, it's got a pretty big indent to the point where it's like mushroomed out the planchet, which it's pretty easy to do on a Zinkin composition. But the indent was created when another coin or planchet was overlapped on this one and then restruck again. Because it's a broad strike, obviously the collar malfunctioned or wasn't in place during the striking process, and that's one of the main reasons why that you're able to see things like this. So quite a very imaginative error, very, very radical in appearance. Ended up selling for $45. Now, if this was on a earlier pre-1982 copper, this one would probably be like $100 to $150. You know, it's just a pretty big difference when you change over to a previous composition. You know, one that especially will hold up better over time. Yeah, I give it up for a gutter fold. One of my favorite errors. Again, these are created when there's a wrinkle in the sheet and it was never stretched out. So it's printed over, cut, and then this is what you have here on this $1 silver certificate, 1935E. Again, you can see this one plain as day on both sides. Pretty cool. I love these things. And the more gutters, the better. This one right here sold for $120. And very rarely do you find them where it's a nice diagonal kind of a cut in there. Usually we see them like vertical or, you know, maybe horizontal. But this one right here is very nice. It's like right down the middle too. Another one here. Check that out though. 2017 series note. $1 bill. A miscut on this one. Not misaligned. Because all the print is all together perfectly within their tolerances. It was cut all wrong. As you can see on the front and back, it's all off center. So this one sold for $30.79 with 16 bits. Again, the newer notes are not immune to quality control issues. We're seeing more mismatched serial numbers, more mismatched prefix and suffix letters. We're seeing more miscuts and all sorts of weird stuff. So they're out there. You just gotta look for them. And our last piece of currency is this $20 bill. The non-colorized 1996 20 is a good one to look out for. For the missing green district seal. That's usually right where the 20 is on the right side of the note. You can see that arrow. The seller had stated that this is an about uncirculated grade level type note, which does look to be the part. It's a very nice note. And yet, yeah, this is a great error to be on the lookout for. You can even find these on 2004 20s as well. Those are the first years of the colorized notes. And you can find some of the missing green seal errors on those as well. So this one right here, a very nice sale. One of the biggest I've seen in a while. $414.50 with 47 bids. Holy smokes. A lot of people really wanted this note badly. And then finally, let's talk a little bit about an old friend that we haven't seen on a PCMR in quite a while, probably a month. But the gold crown die chip will always live on to be one of those coins that we enjoyed coming across a couple years ago. Now, this one right here, just want to let you guys know, there is some roller damage on the front of the coin. It was probably a roll ender at one point, and that's unfortunate. But that doesn't mean that the coin is worthless because it has that damage on there. So the crown die chip, you can see, is right above Washington's hat on the reverse. It was all the buzz and all the rage. And even a coin that is like this, condition-wise, with that roller damage, or circle of death is what they call it, still managed to sell for $38.75 in today's market. And it's always going to be a coin that you should be on the lookout for because it's been adopted really well as being a really neat error. With its own nickname, and it all fits. And when you add all those things together, it's going to be a coin with a lot of longevity. So, yeah, that's going to go ahead and do it for this one on the weekend Pocket Change Market Report edition, June 4th. Yeah, we are coming close to summer. We're pretty much in summer, right? But that was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for tuning in again to discuss some of these big finds. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. I wish you guys happy hunting for the rest of the weekend and the upcoming week. Again, I'm going to start promoting this because now we're in June. We have the big Tulsa, Oklahoma YouTube content creator coin show, which is going to feature a lot of your favorite coin and I guess coin roll hunting and silver content creators. Like I'm going to be there. The live coin Q&A panel is going to be there. Here's a couple more star-studded guys that'll be there as well. Rob Finds Treasure is going to be there as well. Silver Seeker is going to be there, along with a whole host of other big-time, prime-time content creators. So that's going to be from June 29th to July 1st in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'll give you guys more details as far as venue and all that. It's already been set up. It's at the convention center in Tulsa, but I'll let you guys know where that's at. And you can come on down, hang out with us. You know, there's going to be a lot of dealers there as well. So it's a full-fledged coin show. And you're going to have all of these primetime YouTube content creators. It's a pretty big list of folks that will be there. So I hope to see you guys there. All right. But for now, that's going to go ahead and do it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And we got the Monday Market Report coming up next. So long, guys.